This is the Bay and Tepe Perspective. I'm Brian Bay.
And I'm Greg Tepe. Welcome to our podcast.
And this week's perspective is on New York City.
The Big Apple. The greatest, I don't know, it's a city that fell in love with the first time we went back, when was that?
15 years ago?
I feel like it. It was the last year of old Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, so whatever year that was.
Yeah, I don't even remember now.
So,
for some reason, 08 keeps popping in my head, but I don't know if that's even right. It was around that time frame.
I couldn't tell you, but yeah, somewhere in that area.
It was that time. Basically, the first time we went is when we were really strapped for cash. And
Yeah.
the first time we went to New York, we didn't even have a hotel.
No.
First time we went to New York, though, was only for 24 hours.
Yeah. We
And-
went, we flew into Longoria,
Yep.
and then we went around the city as much as we could.
Yes.
Well, we had a cab driver, and then I felt like he was hustling us, so I just hopped out.
Yeah, we learned that right from the jump when we were like, take us to Times Square. We didn't know how to say it. We were like, take us to Times Square. And so they're like, okay, I'll take you to that general vicinity and drive around and act like I have to drop you off at a certain point. And I remember looking at each other, and we're like, we're getting out.
Yeah.
And we just got out.
You know, luckily that was the plus of not having much luggage or any luggage, really.
Yeah, we didn't have
We
any
didn't bring
luggage.
anything. We brought
wore
what we
cargo
wore.
shorts.
Yeah, cargo shorts and whatever was in our cargo shorts.
Packed with all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
And I mean, that's when we learned too. Like, when we went to New York after that first time, you learn that you tell them a specific place,
Yeah.
or intersection if you don't know the address.
And I'll preface all this for you youngsters. This is pre-Uber, pre-Lyft.
Oh gosh,
This was
yeah.
you take a taxi from the airport,
Yep.
or you set up a shuttle from the airport, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, there was no Ubers that tell you that map you specifically there. Like when you call a cab, you say they say where do you want to go, and you say Times Square.
Yeah.
You get in the cabbie asks you again where do you want to go. You say Times Square, and then they just go, and there's no GPS telling you shit.
Nope.
You know, this was even I think we had iPhones for the first trip, but it was
Yeah. I don't
if we
remember
did,
now.
they were old iPhones. Because
Yeah.
I feel like we had an app for the subway even the first time we went.
Yeah, I knew the second time we definitely did.
Yeah,
The first time I can't remember now.
I can't remember.
I do remember though. Not to jump ahead, the subway the first time we went is before they did an overhaul and added the digital signs. So
Yeah.
you had to listen over the overhead. Remember?
Oh yeah,
And remember that guy that got mad at us when he's like, "This is your exit. We're going to the Yankee game."
yeah,
And we didn't know.
No.
I think we were told to go to the different exit. Actually.
yeah. When we got on, it said whatever, get off at 7th Street or something.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was a transfer situation, and he was trying to be nice, but we didn't hear him. And he's like, well, hell with it, go wherever you want.
Yeah. The New York attitude.
Yeah, and I was like, well, and I finally looked at him. I was like, sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah. It's like,
And he's like, oh yeah, you're going to get off here. I was like, all right, thanks. And
and
we
it turned
hopped
out to
off.
help.
Yeah, because then we got on the train that we figured it out.
Right.
Long story short,
Because I know now it's easier, again, for you kids. If you've been to New York, now they have a digital, which is really cool. I prefer this because I'm deaf anyways. I pretty much know where I'm going, which is weird because I didn't grow up there.
now we get it.
But you see, I'm pointing, you guys can see it, but there's a sign above, and it has Queensbridge, and then the
and it comes up
Battery Park.
Yeah,
or
and it says transfer to,
take this train to that train.
Subway 6 or whatever. What did they number them? I can't remember. I feel like they're numbered or something.
Yeah, I can't. Sadly, I can't. I can't
go to
think
train
right now.
6 or train 7.
But I know there's
whatever it was.
the Brooklyn Queens Expressway and all this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, there's certain trains, subways, that will come back to me when we go again. But right now, I can't remember. But basically,
Yeah.
there's a lot of transfers, and honestly, the subway is my preferred mode of transportation even today in New York.
Yeah,
'Cause
now I will
feel
say
easy.
in the summer it was so hot.
Oh, that was the worst. I felt like we were walking to an oven.
Yeah, it was so hot.
Yeah, I always tell people that too. That people at work or something, they're like, "We're going to go to New York." If you go in the summer,
It's gonna be hot.
it stinks down there, and it's very hot in the subway station.
Yeah,
When you go on the subway itself, I don't remember it being too bad.
still hot, but,
But hot.
It didn't smell like homeless urine,
Right.
or whatever.
I liked it when we went in the wintertime.
Winter was perfect.
Yes. We're both cold weather guys on top of it,
Yeah.
but it felt good. I
Yeah.
like that cold wind.
The Christmas tree was lit.
Yeah, we went right before Christmas.
Yeah.
It was like the week, 10 days before Christmas.
Yep.
It was just, I don't know, that city just, like I kind of said before, the first time I went, I fell in love with that city.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with that city ever since our first trip.
Yes.
Before the first trip, I just was obsessed with the baseball team.
Yes.
Now I was like, man, I even thought about moving there, especially after our second time going to New York.
Yeah.
And I was like, I started looking at places online just out of curiosity.
Yeah, just see if there's any chance.
Knowing in the back of the head I probably wouldn't. But I was just looking to see. And if we were to move, we would have to move to like Brooklyn or Queens or Staten Island. There's no way we can afford Manhattan.
'Cause that was even like you had said you want to move. I was like, well, let me know if you go because I may as well just
Right.
fucking, why not? You know, like I'm the type that's want to move out of state in general, and just it's hard to grow that courage to do it alone.
Yeah.
You know, I'm envious of people sometimes that can just go alone.
And just do that. Like
Yeah.
I know probably at least a handful, if not more, people that moved to New York, and I can only think of one that still lives in New York. He lives in Brooklyn. Someone I went to grade school with, knew him since I was a little guy, and he lives in Brooklyn. He travels the world. On top of it,
Yeah.
he was in China for a year randomly.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, I found all this on Facebook, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, dude, you're doing all kinds of stuff.
Living his best life.
But
though.
my favorite part is the fact he lives in Brooklyn. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, like I do get this big city ego when I am in New York or come back from New York. Like I love
we
Cincinnati.
drive
but
more
I'm like,
aggressively.
I've been to New York, so I'm better than you.
Yeah, we drive more aggressively.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember that.
I use my horn all of a sudden.
Get out of the way, dumbass. But
Yeah.
I like that. It's like, go, just go.
That's why I like New York.
But they have so much stuff. Like, I mean, the NBA store was cool. You know,
NBA
because we're not in an NBA city. Just little things like that.
Yeah, well,
You
there's
know?
so much. Like I don't typically like a lot of people, like we talked about in our previous podcast, but New York, it doesn't bother me. I think it's part of it what you said before, where
Yeah.
it's go go go. Because remember the famous Cat's Deli? I can't pronounce the full name of it.
Oh yeah, and I didn't know what was going on.
And they're like, "Come on, are you gonna order today or not?"
I was like, shit. So I just said something. I'm like, I don't even know what I got.
I was so glad I was behind you because I learned from your mistake. I'm like, "Oh, I need to be ready. I'll take the grilled cheese, sir, and I'll say a side of fries."
Do you remember the lady with the bathroom incident?
With you?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Like what? That wasn't even my fault.
Well, the funny thing is, we were sitting over at the table because we took a break before our Ground Zero tour.
Yeah.
And we got there early because that's what we do. And I think you had to go use the restroom, obviously.
Yeah.
And we're like, man, Brian's taking a while, and then you come back
Like I got yelled at.
from some homeless lady.
Yeah, because another guy before me was like a unisex bathroom. There was
Yeah.
only one. You know, like one. You know, locked and shit.
Yeah.
Well, I guess someone was like knocking on the door a lot before me, like being more rude about it. And I had just walked up and I just tried to like lightly turn the doorknob.
Yeah.
She starts yelling at me. I'm like, I just got here. Like, I saw the dude walk away, so I thought he was the one leaving the restroom.
Yeah.
You know, I saw him walk.
So you're
from
like, okay, it's open.
I was like, oh, it's open. So I went to hit it and I was like, oh, it's locked. Okay, someone must have snuck in there. And then she's like yelling at me, and I'm like. I just literally, and I tried to tell her when she came out, I was like, I just walked up. Like, what are you talking about?
Like, ma'am, calm down.
Yeah, well, then I come out and like one of the employees is yelling at me. And she was like, "This is a regular employee." I'm like, "I literally just walked up." And luckily, the other dude that was like a co-owner, probably I think it was her brother, he said or something. 'Cause that's my sister. She just like that. Don't worry. I was like, I get it if I was the one like pounding on the door. Like,
oh yeah,
legitimately, I had just turned the corner, and he knew that because I was talking to him.
Yeah,
and I didn't see the female employee that had yelled at me or whatever. Also, and I was like. I just turned the corner. Like, I thought that dude was leaving the restroom, so I went to go, you know.
Yeah, bad luck.
Bad luck.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember ultimately you were saved by like
the guy.
I remember
guy
you coming back
yeah.
saying that like some guy stepped up and said something.
Yeah, he's like, no, like, yeah.
Which also reminds me, I guess I forgot about this until you told that story later on in that same trip, Chinatown.
Oh
Remember
yeah,
I got frustrated that little Chinese guy trying to make me buy a watch. Or no, it wasn't the watch. It was the little Wall Street Bull.
yeah,
Because Antoine's like, if you get one, no big deal. But if you can you bring me one back for me?
Yeah.
So I had a mission to find that, and Chinatown's great, by the way. I love Chinatown.
Yeah, there's a
But I didn't
lot
like,
of good shops.
I didn't like getting bothered because you do barter.
Yeah,
Because you got a hat for a nice deal.
super cheap. Yeah, I still have the hat somewhere. It's a winter cap.
Yeah,
But,
I just got frustrated because I'm like, I wasn't ready to buy. I was like, I'm gonna look at other places because this is early in the trip, and he grabbed my arm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
And I remember you're like,
Oh.
oh.
But
Chinatown's great, and I do like, and that's that adds to the New York City feeling, if you will. Like,
yeah, they
we don't have a Chinatown
no,
here.
they have Little Italy, Chinatown.
Yeah, Little
know.
Italy was one of the best pizzas I ever had. I have no idea what the place is called.
No, no.
No idea. I can still picture the restaurant.
Yeah, I can picture it too. Because we were like walking and we were trying to decide which one. I was like, what about this one?
Yeah.
Because also one thing we learned there, they put their health code grades on the door.
Yes.
And we're like, that's a B. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, let's go with this one.
We're like, B's pretty good, right? Like,
Which, remember the Italian restaurant we ate at around Times Square?
oh, it was all fancy.
Yeah.
We didn't anticipate it to be fancy. We go in there not so fancy.
Yeah, we weren't terrible either, but we weren't also fancy.
Because that was the winter trip, right?
Yep.
Because the summer, I don't even know what.
I don't even know what we ate on the summer one.
I can't.
Oh, I do.
A Euro cart.
We did that because we wanted to try it, but we went to Hard Rock randomly.
Oh yeah,
remember? Because one dude memorizes. He didn't write anyone's orders down.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that until just now.
Yeah, because that time we were playing it more safe because
we didn't know what
we were doing. We're like, well, we know Hard Rock's consistent. It's it was almost like let's just go because it's a national chain.
Yeah,
because we didn't have enough time to get into the nitty gritty of New York.
No, because by the time we got to the Yankee game, I was worn out.
Yes, I was exhausted, hot, bothered. Yep.
Because I remember. So fast forward to our first trip. Once the Yankee game ended, we initially thought before we went that we were going to do something after the Yankee game because New York City never sleeps.
Yeah.
You know what we did? We got the subway back to it was 145th Street or something like that.
Yeah.
142nd because it was basically in Harlem.
Yeah.
We had to go up to a bus stop in Harlem.
And take a drugstore, yeah.
Yeah, and some hookers. And we took the bus to LaGuardia. And that's when we did the infamous sleeping in those chairs.
Yeah, and then ate that nasty-ass cookies because we were starving.
Yep.
But we thought there'd be more stuff to eat after the game.
LaGuardia was closed.
Yeah.
So we are thinking...
Well, we couldn't find a restaurant after the game either, though.
No, we couldn't find a restaurant. And then when we decided we're going to the airport.
Yeah.
That'll be open.
No.
Nope.
The only thing open was that random cookie shop.
Yep. I think JFK might be the airport that's open there.
Probably.
Because it's international.
But that's where we were flying out of, so.
Yeah, we did LaGuardia. And actually, that's the trip we drove to Dayton and flew to Cincinnati to New York.
To fly to Dayton, yeah.
Luckily, when we went again, at least we flew from Dayton to Chicago. I can handle that better because I'm like...
The layover's in another city, but our layover was in our city, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, can I just get out here?
That was the same on the way back, too, wasn't it? Layover was in Cincinnati, and we're like...
Which was worse, because at that point, I'm like, I just want to go home.
Yeah, basically, if we didn't have our car in Dayton, we could have gotten off there.
I'm almost so surprised that me and you just didn't get off there. But that was because that was when we definitely want to get home, because we were exhausted. Because we did 24 hours to walk around the city.
Yeah.
And then we had the infamous man rash.
Yeah, and we tried to see as much of the city as we could.
We did good, I feel like.
Yeah, we did pretty good.
For just a day, and baseball taking the chunk of that day.
Yeah. But no, the winter one was definitely more fun because you're there for more. We got to see more.
Remember the rickshaw tour in Central Park?
Oh, that was so fun.
That was my favorite thing of that trip. And that was a random thing we decided to do.
Yeah, we were just happened to be in Central Park at night, and the guy was standing there, and he's like, yeah, you can ride my rickshaw, da-da-da. And we're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And he even gave us a discount, and he rode us longer than because we were like, oh, we just want the little one, the 15-minute ride or whatever.
Yeah, and he gave us.
We were in there for 45 minutes.
Yeah, he gave us the longer one. I think it's because it was towards the end of their
tours. He said this will be my last one of the night anyway.
Now, do you remember towards the end of that when he was taking us back to the park, basically? So you go out of the park a little bit. Yeah. And we were on the street, and I could reach over and touch a bus. You could reach over and touch a bumper.
Yeah, he was going in the middle of traffic.
Manhattan traffic.
Yeah, and we're moving when they're not moving.
Yeah. I thought it was the coolest thing.
But it was super cool, yeah. That was super cool.
And remember when we went on the Empire State Building? How nervous we got?
Oh my god, I got so nervous. I thought I'd be able to take it. And I was like, nope, this was a horrible idea.
And we didn't even get to the highest one.
No, we weren't even all the way up. I was like, nope, I'm not going any higher. This is horrible.
Wasn't like the 87th. This is the low one we went on.
Yeah,
and it was so windy. And then you look down and get that weird
Yeah, I was like, nope.
You're like, nope.
Even though there's plexiglass everywhere, you weren't going to fall. But I was like,
cages and stuff. Yeah, but and then of course we had to get a picture taken, and we're all like,
yeah,
cold and nervous.
Yeah, that was that was a bad idea.
That's a fast elevator, though, by the way.
Yeah, if we're going up that high,
it launches you up there. Which the last time we went, they're still working on the World Trade Center, the new World Trade Center. What's it called? The World Trade Center 1 Tower, or whatever it's called. Freedom Tower.
Freedom Tower, yeah.
Yeah, that was still under construction when we were there.
Yep.
It was almost done, but not quite.
Yeah, they had the monument, though, didn't they?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, because we went and checked it out, I highly recommend that for obvious reasons, but also it's weird because it's in the middle of around the financial district and a lot of hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
But there was an eerie peace when you're within that area, the monument area.
Yeah.
And they did a good job with it.
Oh, yeah. I liked it a lot. And remember the Rockettes?
Yeah.
That's not something we thought we would go to, but we did.
That was one of the best things I've done.
That was the female's choice at that time. She was like, let's go to the Rockettes. We're like,
fine. Because you went to the Yankee game with us.
Yeah, so we'll go to that. And then,
I remember she went to the bathroom. We looked at each other like, that was
ass.
This was so cool. I'm glad we did this. And it
She
was.
And she was like, how'd you like it? We're like, yeah, we liked
all right.
it.
Yeah,
It was
not
all right.
bad.
She's like, I knew you'd like that shit. And you're
Yeah,
like,
it
yeah,
was
that was
fine. Couldn't hide our faces. I think it was our first day there. I think that was the first event type thing.
Yeah, because it was also their Christmas special thing too.
Yep.
So it was like,
Which I think probably helped us.
Yeah, because it was more seasonal.
Yeah. So that was cool. And then just like the random stuff. Like for me, I like the touristy stuff, but also is like the city's alive.
Yeah.
Like even when you're riding the cab from the airport to the hotel or wherever you're going, and just realizing like there's the Brooklyn Bridge, there's the Empire State Building, there's Madison Square Garden, there's
and then what's that one, the Hudson Tunnel or whatever?
Oh yeah,
When you went underwater.
It's
What's
that
that
George
called?
Washington Tunnel.
Yeah,
or something like
yeah,
that.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yep, that you always see in movies and stuff.
Yeah, it's always explosions in that tunnel in a movie.
Yes,
You know, like,
yep.
But yeah, we went in that. So all this little stuff was cool.
Yeah,
Little
I'm probably
details
wrong
like
on the
that.
name of the tunnel, and it's killing me because
I
I
don't
know
know.
stuff. I know everything New York, but my brain.
It's definitely closer to like George Washington than the Hudson Tunnel, but
Yeah.
you got what I was getting at.
Yeah, it's that tunnel though.
But yeah, so next time we go though, like, so we did very touristy stuff there, Times Square,
Yeah,
Little Italy, Chinatown, stuff like that. But next time we're talking boroughs and stuff.
yeah.
Like we want to expand to the
I know with me, I want to check out Brooklyn.
Brooklyn
Bridge.
I
even.
want to go to Queens. I
Yep.
want even Staten Island, Jersey if we can.
Yeah, just check it all out.
Yeah, like I want to make more of a trip out and go to other places. Like because I have in my phone I have notes and there's a pizza joint in Queens I want to check out.
Yeah, more of the random stuff. We did pretty good with that the second trip too, though, as far as the random. But it was like
Yeah.
stuff that was seen on Food Network because I know we had. Remember that? What was that place? It was like, I can't remember the name of the park now. Dang it! It's a popular park in Manhattan. Doesn't matter. It was this restaurant, like all these like gourmet hot dogs, basically. Remember that random? It was like a hole in the wall type place.
Yeah.
That, you guys saw on Food Network, and then we did the was it sprinkles cupcakes?
Oh yeah,
We did
Yeah.
that.
And then we went to Godiva too, but that's not.
Yeah,
That's random.
that was good though.
Remember when we walked to that corner store when it was super cold?
Yeah, just me and you.
Just me and you freezing.
And at that point, I was wearing my basketball
Me
shorts.
too. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
it
oh,
was
this
like-
we used to, at first we were like, oh, this is no big deal. And then like halfway we were like, how much longer is it to get to this thing?
It's cold, but nothing. I love the New York delis. That reminds me of that because like
Yeah.
the one night we had dinner at a deli. It was like because I think it was the Rockettes night even.
Yeah.
It was late and we're like, let's just eat close to the hotel. It was good in this deli. It was just a plain deli, but I thought that was good. But I'm
Oh,
also
yeah.
getting the New York experience.
Yeah, like I like the small business
So do I.
aspect of it more.
That's
There's
why
a lot of small businesses around there.
And even though Katz is a popular delicatessen or whatever you call
Yeah.
those,
It's still a small business though.
yeah, there's nothing fancy about it.
No.
It was good food though.
Yeah.
They have a security guard there, by FYI, if you ever go.
Yeah.
But the food's good. I liked it. I just remembered. I think our first time there, we went to that McDonald's in Times Square. Remember that?
Oh, we did. I remember going to
And it was
McDonald's.
like open on both sides of the block.
Yeah, and it was real weird and small. It was
Yeah.
like a McDonald's, obviously without a drive-through, which is odd.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it just didn't look like a McDonald's. Besides, you saw the golden arches.
Yeah.
So
But no, yeah. New York in general is just—it's cool to go to.
yeah,
I want to get more. Like you got that cool picture. You were standing up on something the first time we went to get. You were in between both Yankee stadiums.
when we were waiting to get into old Yankee Stadium, and there's construction because new Yankee Stadium was built close enough where they had put up like plywood for construction site.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And I stood up on the railing looking over to get a picture of. There's a giant baseball bat from what was that old Yankee Stadium that had the baseball bat?
I think so.
I got a picture of it, but I know what picture you're talking about now because I used that as a profile pic way back in the day many
Yeah,
times.
where you like stood up and we got a picture of you standing in between. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Like-
trying. If I try that now, I'd like bust my knee and stuff.
No, I was like, we were more athletic back then.
Oh yeah. I have to find that just for the hell of it. Throwback.
Yeah. Then remember the picture of Antoine in the airport we found? I think I was at Dayton.
Sorry, I had to lean away from the mic because I'm cracking up. Because Antoine was supposed to come with, or he talked about it. It wasn't like
Yeah.
set in stone. And we're at the Dayton airport. Mind you, it's like 6 a.m. And there's this,
We're all excited and slap happy. Yeah.
right. And there's this little kid that looked like Antoine.
Yeah, like Antoine.
With
yeah.
I think throwing like it was supposed to be like a Wright Brothers plane or something.
Yeah.
And me and you, well, I still remember that picture. We were posing that by it.
And, we did bring Antoine with us.
Yeah, and the girl was like, "Are you guys sure we should do this?" And we're like,
Yeah, it's Antoine.
"It's Antoine." And I think he got a kick out because we put on Facebook and tagged him like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you made the trip." He's like, "Ha ha, guys, ha ha."
Oh, fun times.
So that's my Antoine shout out. See if he listens to this episode.
He won't.
Nope.
But no,
That's funny.
But yeah, that's why I'm excited. Yeah, I say I got more and more lists of stuff I want to see. But yeah, I would love to move to New York at some point, but I just don't know if it's feasible.
Yeah, I mean that's the one exception as far as a big city I think that I would move to, just because I love that city. I absolutely love that freaking city.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for New York, and if I just didn't stay in Cincinnati, it'd probably be somewhere with land like we talked about. Before.
No, I am excited now that they have Ubers, so I think it's gonna be a lot more organized.
Right.
And I think we're at least the hotel we looked at originally because we were supposed to go there pre-COVID.
Oh yeah,
it was our whole next trip. Yeah, we're supposed to go there pre-COVID and all that.
The night we finally booked it is when the NBA announced that the season's getting suspended.
Yeah,
that's our luck.
Yep.
So we're like,
so we haven't gone, and then we kept rescheduling. Luckily, Delta is who we go through for our flights, and they gave us a voucher.
Yeah, that's like till the end of 2022 or something crazy.
Yeah, so it kept getting extended.
Right.
Like originally it wasn't that long, but now they finally just extended it way out.
Right.
And the hotel since sent us an email to give us a discount, so we'll probably maybe rebook with them. We'll shop around, but I don't see why not.
I mean,
we did a lot of shopping.
They didn't do anything wrong. It's
no,
damn COVID.
Yeah. So as long as they're still in business,
yeah. But imagine that's our luck, and on top of it, New York at that time, early on, was the hardest hit in the country.
Yeah.
So on top of it, not only did they're like, oh, it's in the U.S. and the NBA canceled their season the night we ordered our tickets.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Then as we're kind of waiting out, like, well, maybe we can still go to flatten the curve in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's what they said.
And then New York was like the hardest hit at that time. And obviously it changed throughout the course because it's been over a year to flatten the curve. Because as of today, June 2nd in Ohio, we are no longer wearing masks. All the mandates are gone.
Yes.
June 2nd.
June 2nd.
We booked this trip, I want to say late March of 2020 because the trip itself was supposed to be like first week of May.
Yeah, of 20.
Yeah, because we were going to actually check out some baseball games.
Yeah, because my original thought was possibly go to D.C. and New York and follow the Reds.
Yes.
They were going to D.C. for the Nationals and then to the Mets Stadium, but then...
And then we kept talking.
Well, we were like, let's spend more time in New York, and we kind of kept changing our mind, and then I brought up like, hey...
That's what I'm getting at, the talking.
And I was like, end of the week, the Bo Sox play the Yankees, and we have a chance to go to New Yankee, and the tickets weren't god-awful.
No, gosh, no. So I think that's what happened was, we were just talking, and we tend to keep talking, and we talked ourselves into, let's see if the Yankees are in town. And then it turned into, well, what do you think about just doing a New York only trip? Yeah. And then we'll do a DC Philly type thing another time.
At this time this year.
Right.
Like at this time this year, we would have been going, Like, because originally we were going to take like a May vacation for that. So really we probably would have been in DC Philly already.
Yes.
We'd probably be talking about that trip right now.
Yeah.
Rather than the fact that we still have not made it to New York.
I know. It's been wild. I mean, at least we made the Hocking Hills. We found something we do like.
Yeah,
something else.
It's a new tradition we can do. So that's
going to include the dogs.
Yeah, but
like I have to connect with Philly now too. Now with my new job.
But
so I can talk to him. Be like, all right.
Yeah, what's going on in Philly?
What's going on in Philly?
But so now I don't know what we have activities wise planned, but it looks like we're probably going near Halloween.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Halloween activities we'll have to look that up.
That's what
fall will be great, but I just want to see what Halloween activities though. That'll be more post Halloween because I think Halloween's on a Sunday.
Yes.
And it will likely arrive on a Saturday, I'm guessing, something like that.
Yeah.
So it'll be like literally the weekend of Halloween. So I don't know how many Halloween activities there will be going on there, or if there is, but it'll still be fall.
I'm sure there is New York, but I'm excited to even I want to check out. I know there's some things that we already done, but I would like to check out again for either one, it's the time of year type thing like Central Park.
Yeah.
Or two, because it's been a while and there's certain things I wouldn't mind seeing again.
Yep. Now, is that the week? That's the week. Is that the week the Bengals are in New York?
I believe so.
Didn't we mention that
against the Jets?
Yep. Yeah. So that has potential.
Yeah, there's that as well.
But yeah. But no, I want to see what they have. Everybody said we want to go to the boroughs and stuff like that, and see the less touristy stuff.
Yep. Yeah, to see experience the city. I mean, obviously, I think it's weird because New York, you still see touristy stuff because there's so many movies that take place there.
Yeah.
Remember when we went to the Home Alone hotel?
Yes.
Which we found out that they only used the outside to film for the movie, but the inside was like a stage thing.
Yeah, it was completely different.
When you go inside, it's not open like it is in the movie.
Yeah.
It's compartmentalized.
Yeah.
Super cool still, But I'm like, this is not what I expected.
No, this is not the.
It's
this
cool,
is not
but
the
I'm
hotel.
like,
Yeah, and then I seen the rickshaw guy showed us the Ghostbusters building.
Yeah,
Like he was going around pointing all these. That's where the Ghostbusters was filmed.
The
Then
Ghostbusters building, Jerry Seinfeld's garage for all his Porsches, which he has a garage, like a parking garage, not a garage like you and I would have.
No.
A parking garage of Porsches that you can see from Central Park. We saw the Strawberry Garden, like for John Lennon.
Oh,
for
yeah.
the Beatles fans out there. What else was on? There's quite a few, the statue from Elf and other movies.
And he even showed us in Central Park where like the Home Alone 2.
Yes.
The bird lady.
Yep, the bird
Pigeon lady or whatever, yeah.
Yep.
He showed, so actually where we went into Central Park was right near the fountain that was in it.
Correct.
Kind of like where he ran into Central Park at.
Correct.
And that's where he ran into that guy. He's like, oh, well, I can show you where this is and this is. And we're like, okay.
It was the part along Park Avenue, and I can't remember the other road, but we went to a corner.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing. Central Park is humongous, obviously.
Yeah.
And we saw all that in one corner.
Yeah.
Wherever it's by Park Avenue, and I believe is where the giant Apple store is.
Yeah, we just went to
that corner.
We got lucky going into Central Park where we did for all that to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Including the rickshaw, because that was not planned at all. That was just in the moment.
Because I feel like, I don't know if it was the same day as the rickshaw, but when we went to Park Avenue, remember it was towards evening, we were kind of getting tired, and we felt like we were walking down Park Avenue forever.
Yeah.
And we were like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like, why are we still walking?
Like, I don't understand what's going on here. Like,
No.
that happens a lot, especially when we like to just wander around and explore that way.
Yeah.
But you have to have good walking shoes.
Yes. Yes. Well, I'm not opposed to now that they have scooters downtown everywhere. We can rent one of them scooters and fucking zip around for all I care.
I was going to say, I can see you on the Segway.
Yeah, rather than walking, like, get me the hell out of here. But I don't know. Do you have anything else to add for New York?
Just that I'm excited to get back. Like I said, I don't know. Go ahead.
I said I'd like to go to a Knicks game at some point too.
Well, that's what. So Antoine finally made it to New York. Like I think a year after we did, or maybe even 6 months after we did. It wasn't long after us, and he did go to Madison Square Garden.
Oh,
he has that on us. Yep.
Now we've seen it from the outside.
Yes.
We haven't seen it from the inside. Plus, like Brooklyn for the Nets, I just want to at least see their stadium.
Yeah, I think a Brooklyn Nets game would be fun as well.
Yeah, and then see the New York Mets new stadium from the outside.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know. Did we even go see Shea Stadium?
No, we never been to Queens.
No, we didn't make it to Queens at all.
So with that, the only boroughs that we've been to is Manhattan and the Bronx.
Oh yeah.
Because obviously Harlem's in Manhattan, so that's a neighborhood. But we've never been to Brooklyn, Queens, or Staten Island. Now I say that with maybe there's a chance that when we're taking the cab back to the airport,
we cut through or something.
Through a corner of it. But the way I remember it is, I feel like we drove through Manhattan through the Bronx to the airport because LaGuardia is like either in the Bronx or borders the Bronx.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, you know more than me with directions. I don't even know directions in my own city that well, let alone.
Yeah. Which is weird that I know it because like I said, I didn't grow up in New York.
No, but you're good at remembering stuff like that too.
Yeah, it's how my mind works.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I'm just fascinated with the city. Like I follow like at least 5, if not more, New York photography Instagram profiles.
Oh yeah,
because I love photography. Which actually, the last time we went to New York got me into photography.
Yeah, that's.
I'm an amateur. I'm not saying like, oh, I have a fancy camera. It's iPhone photography.
Yeah,
but it's got me interested in taking pictures of architecture.
Yes.
Which I don't do a whole lot here because I'm not downtown a lot here.
Yeah.
But it's got me to expand the photography. Like I like nature photography as well. But
yeah,
New
and play
York,
with your camera angles and filters and stuff.
Yes. Like there's a cool picture that I got framed from when we went to Ground Zero. One of the buildings they're working on, the sun. I think you have a picture of this as well in your photos, where the sun was half cut off by like a glass building.
Oh yeah,
and it got this like badass reflection. Like I framed that, and I have it now. It's at home. I used to have it at my desk at my old job.
Oh, okay.
I have that, and I have one where we're at what's it called, Rockefeller Center, where NBC is.
Yeah.
And I took a picture upwards of the American flag popping out of one of the buildings there.
Yes.
One of the famous buildings, and I framed that because it just looked cool.
Yeah.
So it got me into like photography that I didn't know I had in me. Like this, like I said, there's something about New York that just like almost discover yourself. It's weird. I know I'm not the only one that's this way, but maybe I'm the only one like amongst like our other friends. I don't know, but like there's this guy I work with, and he's a big outdoorsman, he's a big fisherman, but him and his fiance went to New York, and I overheard him talking about it when I first met the guy. And I was like, he's like, I just fell in love with the city. Like, I don't know what, like, I'm not into a lot of people and all that, but I love New York. And I'm like, yes. And I start, getting all excited and crazy. Like, that's me. Like, I mean, I'm not as country as you or whatever, but like, there's just something that grabbed me about New York. Now, there's some people that are not the same way.
Yeah.
But
I absolutely hate the big city.
Yeah. My dad was one of them. He's like, I'm never going back to New York.
Yeah.
Granted, he went in the 80s, I think it was, when New York's crime was at the worst.
Yeah. Running with the mob and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
and it was just real dirty back then. Because they did clean up the city really well. I'm not saying there's not rough areas and but they did a good job, especially in the touristy areas, if you will, Manhattan. But with that being said, don't just be relaxed either. Like when I go in the subway, I put my wallet in my front pocket.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like I'm not, it's just, you don't know. It's such a huge city. There's millions and millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
And millions and probably hundreds of thousands take that subway or are walking on the street. Like, it's like the what are they called? Like the stick-up kids. I saw a documentary a few months ago. It was ironically about the hip-hop culture, but not the music necessarily itself, but how the culture grew up, like in New York and L.A.
Yeah. And
the stick-up kids, they would just go. What they do is each morning they wake up, go rob people, especially if they can tell you're a tourist.
Yeah.
You're like screaming like, rob me, rob me.
Yeah, which the first time we went was definitely that.
Yeah.
We had tourists written all over us. The second time was a little bit less, and I think this third time will be.
It should be less.
Should be even more less. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we're overconfident when they probably still be like tourists.
Yeah, they could probably tell to an extent, but like
the fact that we're going to do what like not touristy stuff. I have a pretty good grasp of the city, but we just said before, the geography, and you, Brian, don't come off as like wearing a Hawaiian shirt with a camera around your neck, like, all right, what are we going to do today, guys?
Yeah, what's the itinerary?
Yeah, no. So you just go. You're good with going with the flow, because even the last time we went, when me and you went off on our own, like when we walked down to that deli that one night, we just kind of like almost blended in. And I remember that one guy's like asked if we want to buy a weed. Just randomly. Remember that?
Like, oh no, I'm good, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, well, no, I'm good.
Remember not getting picked off from the herd too?
Oh yeah, it's our joke.
A little running joke. Don't get picked off. Like, we get stick together. Don't get picked off.
And I remember too. It's funny on top of it because I'm the tallest one when we went the last time, and you got ahead because you're good at weaseling through. Yeah. And we're like, where did Brian go? Well, I'm looking above as much as I can, and then all of a sudden I spotted you zigzagging.
Yeah, like he's zigzagging.
Almost like you had to go to the bathroom or something. You're just going through.
I'm just on a mission. I'm like, get the hell out of the way, And then I found an opening, so I'd stand to the side, like, where the hell did they go?
Yeah, I remember, I can picture you being like to the side of one of the crosswalks, and you're just kind of like, where are you guys at? And like, especially like, I can't move as good as you because just being taller.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm trying to get through, and then you're just weaving in and out.
I'm used to it because I always had like a low center of gravity, and I'm
right.
I'm walking by people's hip pockets, so it's like out of the way.
Yep,
out of the way.
Roll through.
Yep.
I feel like we did that the first time we went too, because I remember at the Yankee game the subway was packed.
Yeah.
And I remember making a look with you because we were next to some weird people that were like they were between us, and I remember looking. I still picture you're holding on to the pole in the subway, and you're just giving this look. Yeah. And it wasn't like you're like necessarily nervous, but it's more like, what in the world?
What is going on, and why are they between us?
Yeah.
Like, I got picked off in the subway, essentially. Because you two were over there, and I was all by myself, like...
Yeah, and I remember making eye contact with you, like...
Yep.
And that's our first experience in New York.
And I could barely grab the pole at that point, because they're just like, right there, and I'm just like...
Dude, it was like sardines.
Yeah, I'm just like holding the pole, because I was like, if I don't hold the pole, I got nothing, I'm going to be tossed around and shit.
Yeah, because that thing goes. It's like, all right, boom.
And my problem with being height challenged is I can't grab the top things too well.
Oh, yeah, like, well, I can just go.
Yeah, like you can't grab like the top pole. Like I have to have the vertical one that's coming down. I can grab it because I can't grab like the top one as well.
Right. Or if you did, you're like dangling. Like,
yeah, like I can kind of grab it, but it's not as comfortable as, the regular pole like I can grab. So
right. And obviously, ideally, like most of the time we got on the subway, we were able to sit, but there's certain areas and
certain times of day.
At the Yankee game, you know, you're going to be packed in there.
Yeah.
But I with the subway, not to harp on that, but like I like that they have like this Metro card.
Yeah.
And you just put money on it and you swipe it to ride the subway or the bus. Because it's the whole metro system.
Yep.
So that came in play our first trip because we took the subway around. We got the Metro card. And then, as I said earlier in the pod, when we went to the airport, we took the bus instead of a taxi.
Yeah.
And we were able to I still remember being miserable walking up to the bus because at that point I'm exhausted, hot, and I'm like, here, and then swipe it. And then we were just kind of sitting in the corner of the bus, like, waiting to get to our stop. Because I remember it wasn't the early stop.
No.
And we were getting, at that point, we were just done.
Yeah, you get exhausted.
But that wasn't anything to do with New York to me. That was more so being poorer then.
Yeah, and the pace that we had to keep up for the one day. And it was so hot.
Yeah. And
so I definitely don't want to go back into the summer, like, ever. Like, the heart of summer. Because that was, like, early July.
Yeah.
Because it was my birthday. It was for my birthday, so it was pretty early July.
Yeah. And it was very hot.
Yeah.
We hit on before.
So I definitely was spring or fall.
And then when you walk around with cargo shorts, like me and you did, because we didn't have luggage, those don't breathe well at all.
No.
So that didn't help.
And there was no change of clothes either, so we were just sweating in our...
Oh, that's right. Yep. Yeah, I remember...
Remember the man rash incident?
Oh, yeah.
In the airport?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was horrible.
Oh, yeah. Well, since you brought it up, I'll continue with the story. So we get to the airport, and... We both go into the restroom in the stalls, not to go to the bathroom, but because just
the man rash, yeah.
And I remember one of us was like, I can't remember which at this point, we're like, it hurts so bad. And by the time we got up and walked out, there's a janitor outside.
It was like cleaning, like,
oh, God.
yeah.
What are these guys talking about?
Like, oh, God, it hurts so bad.
Which I think it's the same trip where I had to go poo in the bathroom, and I go walking into and it's like a huge, the restroom was huge. I tend to go, like, I still do this. If it's many stalls, I go towards the end.
Yeah, go to the last one possible.
Those stalls, you couldn't really see that well underneath the stalls, remember?
So you didn't know if they were occupado?
So it was an emergency. So I grabbed it. I thought I had one, and it was locked. And I remember for some reason, like a caveman, I grabbed the top of the door and started shaking it. Like, I tried to get, and then I saw this guy's little feet, and I'm like, oh. And I went running to one of the first stalls, like, my bad. And we used to joke around. That guy's probably telling stories like, I went to New York, and I'm trying to take a deuce, and some guys are shaking like an ape on my door. It's a good thing he's on the toilet already because he's shitting himself.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, let me in.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta poop. And I feel like it was the morning we were flying back home.
Yeah, I think so, because you're like, whoa, I just ruined somebody's life.
Yeah, and we were cracking up, kind of like you are now. Like, that guy's he's probably telling the story now. Like, remember back in like 07, 08, whenever we went to New York, and that guy tried getting into the stall? I thought he was going to kill me.
It's probably because he went out and probably told his wife or something, like, someone just tried to break into the stall, we got to get the hell out.
And I come walking out shortly after, washing my hands, all like, all right, guys.
All right, we're ready to go.
You ready? All innocent.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of airports, too, I love airport food. That's random as hell, but I do like... Airports, man, they're just like... You can do whatever you want, man. It's like a lawless area to an extent.
It feels like that.
You drink a beer at 8 a.m. and no one judges you, you know?
Right.
You wear your pajamas and shit. No one cares.
Yep. And I do agree with the food part. Now you say that because, like, many times, especially as a kid when we flew, we would get, like, McDonald's in the airport. Best McDonald's ever.
It hits different. Yeah, something about it hits different. Didn't we go to, like, Cinnabon or something in Chicago?
Yeah, I was going to say, remember, I was bringing that up. Remember in Chicago when that guy walked up to us because we were wearing UC gear, and it was right after UC got into that notorious fight with Xavier?
Oh, yeah.
And he started talking to us when we're in Chicagoland.
Yeah.
And so speaking of that, and it kind of ties into airports, the flight from Dayton to Chicago is a small plane. Even you had a duck. Remember that?
I was like, oh, my God, it's so small.
And I got the aisle/window seat, which for a taller person was perfect. I'm like,
that was the first time I flew or like remembered flying. Technically, I flew when I was a child, like 2 years old, 3 years old, but obviously you don't remember that.
Oh, that's right.
That was the first time I'd ever been on a plane.
Yeah, you're getting the experience of traveling.
Yeah,
on a
going
plane
from Dayton.
again,
Yeah, so I was like, man, this is a really small plane. You're like, and you and the female we were with,
the female
we were with, they were both joked and they were like, yeah, some planes are like you just didn't like blink an eye, didn't bat an eye, and I was like, I thought it was gonna be big. Like, aren't they all just big? And you're like, oh no, just some of them.
Right.
I was like,
well, we were both me and the female.
Yeah.
We're I guess lucky enough that we flew a lot and like
like I just thought they were all like movie planes where it was like you have that big,
ginormous.
Yeah, you have that center row plus two other rows,
Yeah.
like the the Boeings or whatever. I guess the huge ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't
the
realize
really huge ones.
Yeah, like the really huge ones. Like I imagine that there was probably a next level down from that, but I didn't know there was like several, you know, to me it was almost like a damn private jet we're on, except there was a lot more seats.
It basically was, but without the luxury.
Yeah.
Because we cramped in.
Yeah, because you're cramped in. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like so small. Like I didn't anticipate that, you know?
Right.
And then like, being on the plane, I don't mind flying, but I hate being on a plane like when you get on and when you get off.
So do I.
There's so much anxiety built up. It's like,
So
oh
do
my gosh, I want to get off this plane.
And I get impatient. So
Yeah.
I get excited we get on the plane, but then we sit there for like 30 minutes. I'm like, can we fly? Come on.
Yeah. That's why I don't even, it kills me when some people rush to get on the plane. I'm like, I want to be the last one on.
Yeah.
I do want to be the first one off, but I want to be the last one on.
Well, that's a whole other mess where like people don't know the etiquette of getting on and off the plane.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why like
when people stand up.
Oh, how's it a privilege for first class to get on first? It kind of
they're there longer.
Exactly. It defeats the purpose of what you just said. If I'm first class, I want to also get on as last as possible.
Yeah, because I don't want to sit in that thing as long as I have to.
No.
You know, especially when they're taxiing around and you think you're going to take off and they're like, sorry, we got a delay. We're 3 planes back. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, what do you mean we're 3 planes back? Like, when I get on, you better be ready to fly off.
That's me. I'm ready to go.
What do you mean we got to get in line? Like, I didn't know all, you know, like, I just didn't know all that. I was like, we're in line?
Yep.
Like, I thought we were just like, once we get on, that means y'all are ready to pop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You would think, but
yeah.
Most of the time it's not the case. And actually, my worst experience is Atlanta's airport with that.
Oh, yeah.
I sat forever. I'm like, come on. And my flight was already delayed like 3 hours.
No, see, I had an opposite one coming back from Florida when I was in Chicago. I thought it was gonna have a layover.
Yeah.
So I was all excited. I was like, "Oh, good, there'll be a layover. I'll be able to drink a beer or something, kind of relax,
unwind."
No, like I got off, and of course I looked at the board thing. I was like, I better be safe and look at the board, even though I knew I had a layover for like a solid 40 minutes. Like it was like supposed to be a 20-minute layover, but we got there even 20 minutes early.
Yeah.
So I have like 40 minutes. I got plenty of time. I was like, but let me make sure. And it was like my flight number says boarding. Like basically it was like get to your shit now. I'm like, what? So and I got to hustle, and that's a huge airport, and I had to go across the terminal.
Yep.
Like I think I had to go to another terminal.
Oh,
like,
it's never next. It's never next to you.
No, I had to go like to a second. Like I had to go 1.5 terminals away, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! And I'm like flying to get there. I'm taking that little flat escalator, moving floor thing or whatever. Fuck yeah! Like Jesus Christ, let's get there. Go 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 go. I'm like,
right.
I mean, like I end up having time, but like I felt so rushed, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm supposed to be there."
Oh, that's the anxiety part.
Yeah, like I'm all like with my ticket, and like I'm supposed to be on this, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you're," and she was all casual about it, like, "Oh yeah, you're fine." I'm like, "I'm fine." The thing I said I had 5 minutes, it took me 10 minutes to get here. Like,
and then you probably get on.
Then we were still there for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm like, why would you? Like, what are you doing to me? That's also my inexperience of airports, where people that do all the time know that you probably got time. Yeah, but I'm so afraid to miss the plane.
Oh yeah, because then that's a whole other conundrum.
Yeah, then you got to go through the headache. Like, I guess I missed my plane. I don't know. Like,
yeah, what do I do now?
Yeah, like I thought I had a 40-minute layover. Like,
and it's funny. It's the bigger airports that do that to you, where you go across. Like, Atlanta's bad for that. Chicago's bad for that.
Yeah. And thinking about it, I think it was like I think the bad part was that we did show up early, because I'm pretty sure they just squeezed me on another flight or something. Like they combined flights or something.
Probably, because they probably consolidate. And like, well,
yeah, because there was nobody on that plane. Like I was one of like 6 people.
Yeah.
You know, and it was funny, ironically enough, like we were just talking about a small plane. That was a decent sized plane.
Which is weird, because
there was only like 6 of us.
There to here, right?
Yeah. But I think it's just, that's why I think they might have consolidated.
Like,
they probably like didn't do my plane and just put us all on a bigger one.
I can see that. And
I was like dead in the back seat for that one.
So since we're talking about the air travel portion of it now, have you ever had an experience where you're supposed to get on the plane and then they're like, there's mechanical issues?
Yes. Yep. I'm like, what do you mean mechanical issues?
I had that. One of the last times, wasn't the last time, but one of the last times I went out to Albuquerque to see my family. Mm-hmm. I took my grandma with me, and our flight back was September 11th.
Oh, wow.
Not the September 11th, but you know, the anniversary.
The date of, yeah.
And that's when we had mechanical issues.
And you're like, oh, gosh.
You're like, oh. But I get so hard-headed, though, where I'm like, I just want to get home. Like, yeah. That's the weird thing about me. I get anxious about some things, but other things I'm like, just get this plane going so I can get home.
Yeah.
I remember getting stuck. We got stuck in, not stuck, but delayed in Detroit. When I traveled as a family back in the day. And they were offering... If you were willing to get bumped from the flight, they were going to offer like free airline tickets to somewhere. My mom got outvoted 4-1. Yeah, because all the men in the family are like, we just want to go home. Yeah, don't care about the deal. Then in hindsight, we're like, damn,
probably should have took the free tickets.
Yeah, we're like, at that point, we're like, I just want to get home.
Yep. Now that's usually like a woman thing, I think, to be more considerate of like the smart way to do things.
Being smarter about it.
Yeah,
where
being
the men
smarter.
are like, I just want to get home.
Like, no, I'm done. Just home.
Yeah.
And then when you get home, you're like, oh, well, we could have free tickets anywhere we wanted to go.
Yep, that's the men side. But yeah, air travel's fun, and like back to the original thing you said, the airport, it is like a totally different world.
Yeah.
It's like you said, you have a beer at 8 a.m. and you're dressed in your pajamas and no one thinks anything of it. Nothing.
No.
And you sit up against a wall these days, even more so, sit up against a wall to charge real quick and share chargers. Like, can I charge my phone?
Yeah, you got to find that.
Yep.
Well, it's funny because I see a prank online too where people put realistic looking stickers of a charger. It's like a picture of like an electrical outlet. Yeah. And it's real realistic. People sitting there trying to plug in. They're like, what the hell?
That would probably trip me at first, but I'm not going to be the one that keeps hitting it.
No.
I was like,
well, it's always the people
me.
that like mount up next to a pole and think, all right, I'm going to sit here. They put all their, they make themselves a little spot.
Yep.
And then go to plug it in and it's not there.
It's like, well, damn, that backfired on me.
Yep.
Because I remember, speaking of getting a prime spot waiting to get on the plane, obviously most of my air travel was as a kid. That back then there's no electronics. Like
No.
I don't know how we traveled compared to like kids now.
Yeah.
Have it quote unquote easy. They have their iPads and their phones and their.
Well, that's one thing I was going to mention is I've never actually paid for the Wi-Fi on a plane before.
Me neither.
But I feel like I need to. I think I need to do that now.
Yeah, it's almost like a.
Like when I flew alone the one time, I was like, man, I really wish I had sprung for the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so you can play on your phone.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever even gotten on my phone while in the air. I've gotten so conditioned back in the day that you turn off all your electronic devices.
And just leave it off, yeah.
And I knew you could turn it on when you're in flight, but as a kid, I'm like, no, can't do that.
But
Can't do
plus,
that.
what do you do when you're in flight? Like, unless you've downloaded something,
Right.
there's not much to watch or much to do, Like,
Yeah, I get bored with
Yeah.
I'm old school with that. Like, I used to try to sleep.
I did too, but
sleep
I can't.
makes it fast, but I doubt I can do that anymore on the plane.
Yeah. But I think I'll try next time when we go to New York. I think I'm gonna try to at least download a movie to my phone.
Yeah, see, I'm probably do something because I'll probably be one of the times where I'm mostly plugged in and not blabbing because it almost like it get me in a comfortable space once we're in the air type thing. I just want to get there.
Yeah. Well, there's also only so much to talk about. Like if you're hanging out with I mean, you're hanging out with your group all morning basically. You get to the airport early.
Yeah.
Probably travel with them to the airport.
Yeah.
And do the whole shebang, and then you're bullshitting in the airport, and it's like once you get on the plane, it's like, how much more do we have to talk about?
I need a break from talking.
Yeah.
I need to recharge.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like not loud, but like your ears kind of go dull. I don't know if that's
ears
the right word.
pop and everything else. Yeah.
So, but the airports are definitely different, and we've always flown into LaGuardia back to tie New York back into it.
Yes. Yeah.
LaGuardia is more. It's like more for domestic flights. I feel like JFK is your international hub from New York, at least. LaGuardia, I've had no problems with. I don't know about you. I mean, besides the first time where we're like, it's closed.
Yeah, but no problems.
That's
I mean,
non-issue.
I have no reason to fly in anywhere else besides the experience of a different airport, I guess. But
in New York, you mean?
Yeah,
yeah.
And anyway, really, my excitement of airports is like, I mean, I like going to the airport because it's different. You know what I'm saying? But like going to different airports, like I guess when I first started flying, I was like, oh, I want to go to this airport. I want to go to that. Like I was hoping that we were flying into JFK.
Yeah, just
the first
something
time.
different.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
And then you're like, I was like, oh, this is
that is kind of neat. To talk about airports again, most of my flying, probably half my flying my whole life has been to Albuquerque because of family. Their airport, the typical southwestern look that you would imagine Arizona or New Mexico looking. It's really cool. And when you fly into there, you fly right over the mountains to land. It's crazy. Whereas in like Orlando, I remember, it's like a giant mall. You go in and it's like this, looks like a giant. Literally, it looks like a mall. You take a monorail to another section.
Yeah, and even taking a monorail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was kind of different.
And then, like, I remember Minneapolis seemed like new school, and then Detroit was, like the rest of the city, unfortunately, is run down.
And I've never been, but, like, one of the Colorado ones has, like, that painting that's got the conspiracy behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's a lot of conspiracy. I think, is that Denver's or whatever?
I'm thinking it's Denver.
Yeah, talking about it's got, like, the whole political conspiracy thing, you know what I'm talking about.
And then there's the ones I haven't been to, like LAX. That's a famous one. Or Las Vegas. I heard as soon as you get off, there's slot machines.
Yeah, stuff to do. Yeah, gambling right away. And
Yeah, like, so that's a good point you brought up. It's neat seeing the airports because it's almost a reflection of that city or that area.
Yeah.
So that's kind of neat too.
Or like even Dayton's had a lot of the
Wright
brothers stuff.
Yep. Yep. And then I flew through St. Louis when I was a kid, but I remember the only thing I remember is the big on the arch. Dallas, Fort Worth, I can't remember that well.
Yeah.
Just that we got stuck there overnight because we missed a flight when I was real. I don't think John existed yet.
Yeah, so it was real.
I remember hearing the stories about my dad calling because he would call. That was back when he had to find a payphone because we didn't have cell phones, and he called my grandparents, like, to explain what's going on. My grandma didn't listen. She's like, "Glad you made it. Tell them I said hi." My dad's like, "We are stuck in Dallas.
Yeah,
you're not listening.
Yeah, we haven't made it."
Yeah, so it was a family story. That's the only reason I remember that.
Yeah. Now, I think that's the one that we flew into when I was like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I thought you said it was Dallas Fort Worth.
I'm pretty sure it was Dallas Fort Worth that we went to. I don't 100% remember, but I'm pretty sure that's the story I was told.
Yeah, it was so long ago.
I was just a kid on a plane. Like, I don't know how. I wish I could have reflected upon that time to see how I reacted then.
Yeah.
Knowing me, I probably slept. My mom said I was a big sleeper, so I probably just slept.
That's the quickest way to travel back then, especially when you didn't have all these electronics and stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, Chicago's airport was cool when we went because it was right around Christmas, and they had the different Santas from the different movies. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, Chicago's was pretty cool in general.
Yeah. We flew into O'Hare. I think it's their biggest one.
Yep.
So there's also, I forget the name of the other one. There's a smaller one that...
O'Hare's the only one I've been to.
Yeah, it's the one I've been
at
to.
it a couple times.
Yeah.
So
yeah, same actually. All connecting flights.
Yeah,
I've been to the city of Chicago once, but
I've
never flew to it. Or I didn't fly to it. I drove to it when I went.
Oh
to
yeah,
Chicago.
I've never been to Chicago, minus the airport.
Right. So randomly, as we wrap this up, do you count airports as a destination when people ask where have you been?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. If anything, I'll do the asterisk depending on how they phrase the question.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I've been to the airport, but not actually to
Yeah,
but it also depends how they phrase it. But no, I don't consider that me visiting it.
Yeah, me neither.
I'd have to at least have gone there and done something
outside the airport.
Yeah, like even if it was work related, I would say, like if I went to Chicago for work and did nothing else, I would still consider me going there.
Yeah, that's what mine was, ironically.
Yeah,
I want to go as non-work related.
But I probably still say for work though in my.
I do.
When people are like, "Have you been to Chicago?" Well, for work, but not. Yeah, like so.
I mean, I did drive through downtown Chicago, which their traffic, the worst traffic I ever drove, like personally drove through, where I'm the driver. Awful.
And you drive your car there, I guess?
No, we got a rental.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me that. I remember you talking about
Yeah, a Kia Optima. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. But
I like getting rentals. That's a side note.
Yeah, me too.
I like rentals that are not the car that I've had or have ever had in my life.
Actually, real quick side note, speaking of rentals, so at the last job, they would send us up at different times to Chicago to check out our headquarters and, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, Antoine went in the later group because he ended up start working there months after I went to Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
And his rental was the most, I was trying to think of the right word to use without offending anyone, but it was like the non-manliest car you can think of. Yeah. And it was this lime green little Kia. And he had to drive through
the little hatchback Kia thing or something.
He had to drive through the rough neighborhoods of Toledo, and he's like, "Oh man,
the lime green Kia. Oh, that's the worst."
He was excited because he's like us, excited to get a cool
different
rental,
car. Yeah, something
and he
different.
got the worst car.
The lime green hatchback. Yeah. That is not. I picture him driving that at all. He's like an SUV guy, and masculine kind of car.
He's now a minivan guy, by the way.
Is he? I did not know that.
Just bought a van a couple days ago.
Was it at least a Dodge Caravan?
It's a Honda Odyssey.
No, the only one I can add all respects to Dodge Caravan. That's the only one. Only because they make a turbo edition.
Okay.
And I'm saying you'd have to get that, but actually they're kind of cool. I've looked online. Those ones look cool as hell. But no, not the Honda. I can see him though. He likes his Japanese cars or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he was a Toyota guy forever too.
Yeah,
I did not know he went minivan though.
Yeah, it just happened.
I will have to make fun of him for that.
I think he bought it Saturday.
Oh wow!
He texted me. And he's like, I'm
officially
a minivan. Dad.
Oh, did you make fun of him? Because I definitely am.
Oh, I did. Well, I saw it when I met. So he set up the golf outing, or not the golf outing, but he set up a foursome the golf on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
I pulled up and saw it. And I'm like, oh, nice whip.
Yeah.
And Brad came, and the guy that you beat in golf, by the way.
Yeah, he's bad.
He was like, I'm never going to have a minivan ever.
No, that's how I am.
Ever.
That's how I always am, but honestly, I don't think I will have one because I have no reason to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But looking online, the Dodge Caravan looks super nice.
They do drive nice. I have driven my brother's van, which also is a Honda Odyssey, It drives nice.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
And I'm not
guy.
dissing the Honda Odyssey. I'm just saying like online pictures.
Yeah.
The Caravan looked pretty cool. And the reason I clicked on it, I think, is because when you Google something and then Facebook starts advertising it to you.
Oh yeah.
Because I think I was Googling like the turbo one just to see it, and then when I looked on like the Facebook one, there was like a fully loaded one. I was like, actually, it looks kind of cool.
Yeah, they're not bad as the fact that it's a van, but besides that, there is cool stuff in those vans.
But I have no reason to get a minivan. I have no kids or anything. So.
Yeah, I don't have a reason either.
No, if I were to get anything, it would be an SUV.
Yeah, and that'd be for my fur kids.
Yep.
Which, yeah, so we went way off from New
yeah.
York, but
derailed a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
New York.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to go again.
Yeah, I mean,
hopefully everything pans out. Like we're kind of holding off on rebooking everything because
you
just never know what's going on. We're kind of being hesitant with it.
I do have a New York playlist already. I forgot I made that last year for last year's trip.
Oh yeah,
because I love New York. I just love New York.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of hip hop songs from New York. So
yeah,
I also love hip hop, so it works out.
But now that we're doing our pod on it, I'm definitely gonna after this like look up New York stuff to do, get my list.
Yeah,
because the reason I thought about it today before to even think about doing this podcast, this type of episode was. I was on TikTok and something came up about some sort of sandwich shop or something.
Okay.
That's in New York, so I put it in the notes.
Okay.
I don't know the name right now, but I put it in the notes real quick.
So much stuff there.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, well, I want to try that sandwich shop.
Wasn't it? Yeah, it was in The Office when Michael Scott went to New York, and I think it's the first time in the show he went, and he's describing the city. He's like, I'm going to go get my authentic New York pizza. He went to Sparrow.
Yep.
It's like, oh, you're an idiot.
And then he was looking for a celebrity and he couldn't find. He's like, I thought that was such and such. And then like Conan O'Brien walked by.
Yeah, that's
He's like,
right.
Actually, Conan O'Brien. Yeah, he just walked by.
Now? I missed it.
I missed it. I was looking at fake whatever, like the female actress.
Yeah, well, was it? Oh, I can't think of her name. She's one that did the Sarah Palin impressions.
Yeah, because I was looking at fake whatever.
Yeah.
And I think even later on they show her walk by.
Yeah, I think you're right. And he's bad luck.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much. I mean, even just food.
Yeah.
Like I said, one of my favorite pizzas I've ever had is that place I don't know the name of.
Yep.
I just know it's in Little Italy.
No, definitely have to get pizza for sure.
Yeah, deli for sure.
A deli pizza. Yep.
I guess on the food topic, we did it both times, but especially the first time hitting the food carts in the street.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember. I felt like every time I turned around, you were getting something.
Yep.
I was like, I got a euro.
Well, we don't have that. Like all we have is like hot dog stands really here, at least that I know of.
Yeah.
Where now? Hell, they'll probably have a lot. What do you call it? Food trucks down there too. I'm sure.
Those are badass, by the way. Because we at least have some of those in like business areas in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And when I first started my new job, it was during COVID.
Yeah.
So they closed the cafeteria, and as far as like where you can order food from work, and they had food trucks. That was my first like true experience.
Yeah. Now speaking of another New York trip, this was not New York City, but this was Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
Me and Brandon, we broke off from the group to do our own
Shocker.
thing. Yeah, we always do. And we go to this mall because he was looking for a shirt, and as we're finding parking, because we're like, man, we gotta find something to eat right after this.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, maybe we'll get something in the mall. I'm like, yeah, maybe we'll see what's in there. And tell me, we turned the corner of the mall, and there's just a food truck festival going on.
Oh wow,
dude! He looked at me. His eyes got big. I was like, dude. He's like, yep. He was like, all right. So we go to get whatever he needed, his shirt or whatever.
And then you hit up that.
Yeah, then we hit that up. It was nice.
What'd you think?
It was nice. I forget what I even got exactly now, but I got two things because there was like a dessert I got too.
Okay.
Because they had like a dessert one, and then I also got like a meal.
They're addicting.
But it was so hard to choose because there was a festival. So
that'd be hard.
There was like 20 or 30 different trucks, and I'm like.
Yeah, because at least at work, when we had them, it was one per day. They just tell you, like, this truck's coming today. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, I like that one.
If you're feeling Mexican food or Chinese or whatever.
Or gyros they had.
Gyros or,
Yep.
Where this was like, oh, my, we have every kind.
Speaking of gyros, I do want to shout out Cincinnati's very own Sebastian's
gyros. Yep.
And Price Hill.
Yep.
Old school, best gyro I still ever had in my life.
You know what's a close second that I've ever had?
What's that?
Price Hill Chili, another local joint around here.
Yeah, you told me that.
Dude, it's amazing. I did not think that they would have a good gyro, but they do. I would say it's a close second to Sebastian's.
Which is impressive.
Like it's in their league, if you will. I wouldn't say it's not as good as, but it's in their league. It was undercover because it's not a gyro joint at all.
It's supposed to be a Cincinnati chili joint.
Yeah, which I hardly ever get chili there.
Yeah, me neither.
Their breakfast is amazing, and then their gyros, like they have other stuff that's amazing.
But it's just random.
It's a small home cooked kind of feel.
They take plastic though.
They do.
Sebastian's does not. Last I know of.
Yeah, I still don't think they do. They have a little generic ATM in there.
Oh, I know. I love it in there, though.
Yep.
Like, that gives you, like, I've never been to Greece, but it gives you a Greece.
Yeah, because he's old school, man. You can tell.
Yeah, he's straight from Greece. My dad got to know him or something. So I don't know.
He's got that New York feel, too, though, where he's like, what do you want?
Yep.
He's not like, hi, thanks for coming in. He's like, what do you want?
Well, let's go back to New York. That's what's great about New York is they have the what you want feel, and they also have so many ethnicities in that city because that's one of the main cities a lot of immigrants come to.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful melting pot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so much good stuff to experience, to try. It's not boring there because you got all kinds of different nationalities there, which
I enjoy the different ethnicities and nationalities.
I still remember sitting next to that good-looking girl on the subway speaking nothing but Spanish to her friend. And I remember they got off, and I told you, I'm like, they could have been talking crap about me. I found it attractive.
That accent was hot.
Yeah, I was like, man. New York girl speaking Spanish?
Yep.
Man.
Yep. As long as you didn't hear, like, El Stupido Gringo, we know we're good.
I'm like, oh.
But, all right, I guess that's it.
Yeah, I'm just rambling all over the place now.
We broke the hour mark, so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time.
Yep. See you next time.
All done?
Are we done?
Yep.
All right.
All right, boys.